I'm with Aryeh King, who's a Jerusalem City Councillor. Now, Aryeh, we've seen many terrorist car attacks lately in Jerusalem. What do you believe are behind these attacks?
Behind these attacks, I think that it's kind of the Islamic fundamentalism is waking up, not as part of a specific organization, like it's become like a trend. We see more Muslims in not just in Jerusalem, but also in north of Israel that went and joined ISIS. Just yesterday, one of them was killed in Tadmur in north of Iraq. More and more Arabs that are not under occupation, just Arabs that are living in Israel, that are joining Islamic movements, and it's not it didn't jump over the Arabs living in Jerusalem. They are also joining this kind of trend in the Islam world. And therefore, suddenly we see more and more Arabs are participating in all kind of very simple attacks. It's not with a weapon, not with bombs. They just use what they have, if it's a car, if it's a tractor, if it's a knife, something that is accessible to any person.
Now, Arab lifestyle here in Israel is very, very good compared to actually other Arab countries. So why would they want to do this?
Why should a guy, his name John, from London, 18 years, 19 years old, living in one of the beautiful cities in the world, London, leave his girlfriend and go to Syria and chop people's heads off? And like him, there are thousands from Europe that left Paris, London, Milano, Belgium, Brussels, and it is coming from the same place. It's time that the world will understand we are facing a religion war. It's worse than the First World War and the Second World War. It's the third one. And the third would be the Islam against the rest of the world. It will happen everywhere. In US, it's happened already, and it will continue in England, in everywhere in Europe. Maybe in China it will not happen. It's also in Russia already. And here in Israel, we are in the front line. It's not new for us. So this is what we see. Arabs, that they don't have any reason to take this kind of steps of killing and butchering people. They just live their good life, and they are joining these fundamentalism organizations. And as I said, we are here in Israel facing it for hundreds of years, and it's just a matter of time that people will face it in Central of Europe.
Do you think that the West doesn't understand, or is this Arab or Muslim appeasement?
I think it's hypocrisy, kind of hypocrisy. Because when the problem is with Muslims here, but it's far away from Stockholm or from the Netherlands or from Munich in Germany, so all the Europeans are demanding from Israel to deal with this fundamentalism like it's happening in the middle of Europe, in a very sensitive way, in a very, don't damage whoever is around the terrorist. But sooner or later, and I think it already started, when Europe, and it will happen in Europe before it will happen in US, because the percentage of Muslims in Europe is higher than it's in New York, in the US. I think that in just a matter of time, that in Germany, in the city of Köln, in Malmo, in Stockholm, in Brussels, some areas, Europe Christians will face what we are facing here, and then suddenly we will see how evil can be the European people when they face the terror that we are facing here for hundreds of years, but we were not so evil to them. We all the time dealt with them, I think, with gloves, and we didn't deal with them like we should do. And then when that will happen, I'm sure definitely that Israel will get a strong support from Europe before. And I think I have a study that I wrote at 2008, and my conclusion was that until 2020, Europe will change her face. Europe will become much more anti-Muslim than US, or let's say much less pro-Muslim than US, and it will replace US, United States, because they will start facing, and I also pointed the countries where it will start according to demographic, according if you have a royal family there, or it's not a royal, it's a democracy or monarchy. So just 5 years, and I think everything in Europe, all the attitude to the Islam in Europe will change.
Do you feel that terror pressure is getting stronger and stronger here in Jerusalem?
No. No, it's look, I live here for 19 years. We passed here much worse periods, and we are passing in the last year. There were times of buses blowing up every corner. Terrorists were going into restaurants and burning themselves or firing on the streets. It's not here. It's not happening. So we cannot compare. It's after all, most of the areas of Jerusalem are very quiet. There's few delicate areas. That's exactly, I would say, the outskirts neighborhoods of Jerusalem, where there are Arab neighborhoods and Jewish neighborhoods, and not all the Arab neighborhoods, I must say. Most of the Arab neighborhoods are quiet. But there's enough, there are few, in every few neighborhoods, that they are creating this bad environment in Jerusalem, and especially in East Jerusalem.
And do you feel that ISIS is taking a hand here, or the ISIS ideology?
Yeah, no question. Since 2010, I'm calling to the government of Israel to take care of all of these national Muslim, pan-Muslim organizations, pan-Arab Muslim organizations, such as the Islamic Liberation Party, that it's a world party. In some parties, it's already outside of it's forbidden to be member in this party. And here in Jerusalem, in Israel, they are slowly getting their root in all kind of neighborhoods and level of population, mostly youngsters, and they are already terrorists that committed terrorist attacks that are members in this party in Judea and Samaria, in Jerusalem. And this organization, the Islamic Liberation Party, they are, if you go and check their agenda, their policy, you can put ISIS instead of the Islamic Liberation Party, and they have the same policy, the same agenda. They are less talking about taking actions, but they're talking about Khalifa, like talking about the future of all the area under a Muslim control with a Sharia Muslim law, and they are also talking about how Muslims need to respond to non-Muslim law, and it's exactly like ISIS agenda and other fundamentalistic Islamic world organizations.
Do you think that ISIS in Syria and Iraq could actually step over into Israel?
It's already stepped in. Again, if Arabs from Israel left Israel and served ISIS in Syria or in Iraq or in Yemen or whenever they are, in Sinai, in Jabhat al-Nusra, never mind Al-Qaeda, it's all the same. From my point of view, the same problem. And if they left Israel and went there, there's no question, from my point of view, there's no doubt. There are also many, maybe even more, that they think the same, they see themselves part of ISIS, but they didn't left Israel. And they're just waiting for an order or for a dream that will tell them what to do, and then we will hear about them.
And how do the police actually deal with these sort of lone wolf terrorist attacks?
It's very difficult to deal with them. It's very difficult. But I think that one of the most influenced ways to make this single wolf think twice, 10 times before he's doing what he thinks to do, is by knowing that whatever he will do, his family, that is will remain behind of him, will suffer a lot. If he knows that his children will not get any more money from the government, social security, or if his wife will lose her position, or if he have any property, like a car, like a house, will be taken, or other ways, I don't know, or other things, I think maybe there will be some of them that will think again many times before they do what they again from ideology they want to do. And another thing is that I think that one of the problems that we are facing in Israel, and specific in East Jerusalem, is that the government of Israel, and it's also including the municipality of Jerusalem, where I'm a city council, we are not spending enough money in East Jerusalem. My vision is that there will not be any difference between east to west of Jerusalem. You will take your car, you drive your car from east to west, west to east. You will not notice when you are in East Jerusalem, when you are west. Today, unfortunately, you can smell it, you can see it, and you can sometimes even feel it. And it's time to stop this way of considering East Jerusalem as a place that we are temporary here, so why should we invest? Why should we put infrastructure, new roads, street lights? Why we don't clean the streets? Why we don't enforce the law like we are enforcing in West Jerusalem? And this is one of my motivations to get into the city council of Jerusalem. Becoming a councillor is to change that, to equal the investment of Jerusalem's city council and the government of Israel in East Jerusalem like it is in West Jerusalem.
And who are Hab al-Tahrir?
Hizb al-Tahrir, it's a organization that is a world organization that is have a world opinion how the future of the world need to be, and it's exactly like ISIS see it. They're looking forward to appoint a Khalif. Khalif is I would say the person that came after Muhammad. There were people coming after Muhammad that they were like the head of the Muslim world, the Muslim nation, and they are looking and they are expecting and they are talking about every Muslim need to do every day something in order to make this vision, this dream that they have, a reality. And they are talking about that no Muslim can accept other religion control or a governor, and to in some areas they're also calling to take steps, meaning don't be passive, be active, without explaining what is active. But each one can understand what is active. Active can be to talk, and can also to spit on somebody, and it could be also to kick somebody, and it could be also to kill somebody. Active. So this is Hizb al-Tahrir, as I said, the world Muslim organization that in some countries in Europe is already out of the it's against the law to be members in these parties. Not yet in Israel, unfortunately.
But they are in Israel.
They are in Israel. They are publishing themselves all over. In my neighborhood, there was 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a big event in the mosque next to my house in Mount of Olives, right next to the Jewish cemetery. Last 3-4 days ago at the weekend, there was also in north of Jerusalem, and they publish it all over. So you don't need to be, a special spy or intelligence guy to know. They are not hiding what they do, because according to today they are legal in Israel. And this is the problem. I think it's time to take them out of the law.
Now we see intimidation on the Temple Mount and terror attacks constant in Jerusalem. Is this a spiritual battle?
Yeah, as I said before, it's a spiritual, religious battle, no doubt. It's part of the, as I said before, if Israel is in the front line, so the old city and the Temple Mount is the far front line of this battle between the Muslim and the rest of the world. And the spiritual, religious, it's the same idea. It's about how the world need to be in the future. They see it that the Muslims see that everybody must accept the Islam, never mind wherever there is a majority of Muslims, must be the Sharia law. We as Jews, we tell anybody you can keep his religion, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, and we are Jews, and we are not calling to anybody to become a Jew. They are calling and they are working all the time to make more and more people Muslims. Because they want to get to this majority, because they want, by getting to this majority, to change even a political picture or situation in cities or countries. And one of the symbolic places is the Temple Mount, because this is the Jews are the only holy site we have in the world. We don't have three places. We don't have the Vatican. We have one place, and this is the Temple Mount. This is where the first and the second temple was built, and where we believe the third will be built. And they know that. And this is why they are putting a lot of efforts in this area, because they know how much it's important for us, for the Jews. They're making a lot of efforts to disturb us in working our God, praying in our only holy site in the world.
And now Jerusalem in Hebrew, of course, means city of peace. What's your prayer for this beautiful city of Jerusalem?
There were very long periods of peace, not just in Jerusalem, but also in all the region. These peace times were during the first temple and during the second temple. Since the destruction of the second temple, this region was never in a peace. All the time was in a war. And I really believe, according to the prophecies, that when the temple will be built, then Muslims, Christians, Chinese, everybody will understand how much the temple for us is good, not just for us, for the Jews. It's good for all nations. It's written in our Bible. Bible belongs to everybody. It's written in the Bible. In Hebrew, Beiti Beit Tfilah Ikare Lechol Ha'amim. This is in Hebrew. The translation is, my house will be a house for all nations. From my point of view, I can bring my sacrifice. And also the Christian can get in to the same place and do whatever he wants there. And I really believe that this is what will happen. I hope it will happen in my time. And I'm doing everything that it will be in my time. In our tradition is saying, every generation that this temple was not built, this generation is to be blamed like the generation when the second temple was destroyed. And I don't want to be part of this generation, okay? I want to be part of a generation that built the temple. Because building the temple is bringing the peace. Not to the Jews, I believe again, to all of the area. And it's what I'm praying for, 3 times a day at least.
Okay, Aryeh King, thank you very much.
My pleasure.